Tarlin will have brought with him some piles of scrolls and other official business-looking things. He is, for today, dressed in his more sort of practical military garb, like his armor. He has his great curved blade over his shoulders, and some other knickknacks and weapons. He seemed to be certainly ready to fight. And, he will put most of the shards and stuff down on like a small table or something in front of Alauneari. And then he will turn around and say, "My lords, I have, per your requests," looking specifically at Rae'nkalar, "gone through some of the army here. I have come to understand that we are to march against Vothis." If no one answers, he will continue. "It is perilous, to say the least. Our force is small. We have roughly 60 drow that are now currently working as soldiers or guards in town. We also have roughly 20 gnomes who have more or less volunteered to work as guards themselves. This leaves us a rather modest force to be employed." He looks at the rest of you. "The army can be ready to march within a day or so. However, I wouldn't recommend leaving Festivault unattended."
Alauneari frowns and looks at the others. "How many do you think could hold the city then? Would the gnomes dare to oppose us?"
Tarlin seems to think, "Perhaps, matron. The gnomes have been calmed down much by the recent efforts of Lord Rilinid and Lord Rae'nkalar. They are less troublesome than they were, but they still exhibit some force of will, shall we say."
Frowns. "Surely we can take a day or two to break that will."
He tilts his head. "Perhaps, matron, do you have anything specific in mind?"
Yes, we could conscribe all the elements that seem the most troubling and bring them with us. No reason to let them stay behind, and if they were to fall in the fighting, so much the easier for us. They surely will not betray us and side with other drow.
Well, Tarlin seems to consider as he looks down at the maps. He doesn't seem to respond immediately.
We look to Rain to see what his opinion about this.
Rain seems to be thinking right now, looking into a small little ledger he's actually been writing.
Alternatively, we could of course just kill them all in a gruesome manner to scare the rest. Promise that if anyone is rebelling when we return, we will do exactly the same to them.
You could try, though, depending on their will, they may just decide to try locking the gates again.
Not, and they will regret it. It would be, however, easier if we could return to the city without much problem.
Tarlin nods slowly. "Even if we take Vothis, a feat that is somewhat daunting with our current force, we would perhaps be somewhat bruised and battered and bloodied when we return here. Honestly, matron," he looks at Alauneari, "we might not have the force if we take too much casualties in Vothis."
Then what do you suggest, Tarlin? That we leave half our army here? How many would we need? Surely we could bring all the gnomes, or Maybe those would even be the better ones to leave here. What do you think?
Tarling grimaces. I would put forward that perhaps around at least 2 full squads of our troops is to remain here and patrol the streets, just to show our presence. As I have said, the Lords Rilinid and Rae'nkalar has done some great efforts to calm the populace. I think 2 full squads should give us a reasonable chance to suppress the gnomes.
If I may, sister, then by his count, we will have 50 of our men. We have 50 of our men ready for the assault, and then I do recommend bringing the gnomes. They are, as much as I hate to say it, they are far better fighters than what we got given. Though what we got given was hardly adequate.
It is important to create the impression to those who stand upon the walls of Arthas that they face a much united and a far stronger enemy. We can spare some of the individuals, Rilinid tries to say politely, individuals that were given to us by Lady Sartha, and in exchange bring far more capable and terrifying fighters. These, when combined with the individuals spared by the Skisral, as well as our own personal tongues, should limit the amount of fighting necessary.
But I suppose if we were to win with only the last squad left, everyone else expended, it can hardly be called a victory. That's all right. We shall leave 2 squads here to take care of Fastervold while we move.
We even have an element already in place to oversee the distrustful troublemaking Zvifneblin, lawless he who liberates.
Rain looks curiously over to
That'll be
Rilinid.
sufficient, although I do not like the idea of gnomes ruling gnomes.
Unless you plan on treating this as a backwater post of your own to send. And at this point, Rilinid gives like this ominous creep like towards Tarlin, extending a generous gloved hand. Someone of great caliber and skill to, sort of like peering his head around the side of Tarlin, looking at Alauneari, to leave him behind. It would be a punishment post. You could not trust whoever you left behind. They might do as we have done.
She does not. I suppose, brother. We all have our part to play. She looks at him, she still cannot really, or think the thought of really having a gnome or cheap. So, she just shakes her head. We shall let this gnome prove himself, and they can wail to him about their problems.
Rilinid.
Maybe he will show them more mercy than I would in his place.
Rilinid just gives like a flourish as he steps away from Tarlin and back to the wall.
Was something in that glance.
Oh my.
First gnomes, now this.
Isn't it really?
Need to be friendly with the locals, but I mean... Tarlin looks at the map. Then, my lords, am I to assemble the forces?
Yes, we have a deadline to make. The Skizral are waiting for us.
He inclines his head. As you say then, my lords. If you excuse me, I have a military to get into gear.
And we do travel light. If we can't quite loot the supplies of Arthas, then we probably did not make it.
Yeah, Tarlin nods. As you say, they are trained for light combat anyway. We haven't had access to heavy weapons and armor.
The baggage train was more what I mentioned rather than heavy weaponry.
Of course.
If we were to lack supplies, I'm sure there would be some in the watchtower guarding the entrance to the Fourth Fungal Jungle. That should be nice and clean when we come there.
It is not as if mushrooms eat meat.
She nods. No, and I don't think our allies would do so much as to steal things that are worthless to them. Especially when they know they have worth to us.
Tarlin seems to quirk an eyebrow and doesn't really say anything, but he seems a little bit puzzled, but he salutes and takes a step back, brushes past Rilinid on his way out.
Alauneari sends Rilinid a questioning glance.
Rilinid waits for Tarlin to leave and says, "One of Tarlin's greatest fears would be him being left to attend this backwater post, his talent and opportunity wasted on hundreds of Zvirfneblin. I merely wish to remind him of that."
Says, I had thought of that post for him. However, he seems oh so ambitious.
And one cannot deny his usefulness. Truly, someone of his skill and ability would be wasted here in Fastervolt.
Alauneari nods. I still am not sure, however, why he, of all the people in Vathus, was picked as our sergeant.
Rain will gesture a hand to get Alauneari's attention.
She'll look to him.
I have been speaking with him, and I have been digging around, as it is. He did give us a last name, though Rilinid could not think of it as any important noble house. But I must say, from the way his mannerisms, the way he speaks, even his combat style, it's not something that a regular drow would learn. It is very much he has been part of some form of much greater house at some point, if direct or indirect.
If he continues to elude our questions, we will force it out of him. We have our...
At any rate, Rilinid sort of pauses and says, "For his skill and ability, if for no other reason, should actually be kept closer to us so that he might be better appreciated and monitored."
Yes. However, if he is not to be trusted, I would rather not do the mistake that Lady Suther has so grievously done.
Trust. Rilinid just offers like a hand, lifted. How many of our own would you trust?
She shakes her head. I would at least trust them to be incapable of hurting us so badly. Someone of such skill and ambition, however, can be dangerous.
I would suggest that had Tarlin had his eyes set on betraying us, that he would have done so already.
Yes, I must say, while he's definitely ambitious and he hates doing any form of bootlicking or servitude, he has ample opportunity to get rid of us, and I have to say his fighting style is masterfully done, worryingly so almost compared to the skill of almost anyone else.
We want ambition properly channeled, and still at this point we are too desperately in need of someone who is capable to discard a tool.
She nods and says, yes, at this point.
Zyn frowns. If he is so ambitious, then perhaps his plans of betrayal are equally ambitious.
Leave it to Zyn, master of paranoia.
Now, all I can definitely confirm is, from what I've spoken with him about, we should be able to control his ambition as long as he gets some form of upgrade, so it be from regular old Sergeant of Gnomes.
And where does it stop?
Well, where to stop? We don't need to raise him too much. So at least, definitely not straight away as well.
Shakes her head. He is out here for a reason. His ambition does not befit his status.
Rilinid leans back against the column. And would you simply kill him then and be done with it?
He shakes her head. Not yet. He can still be, as you say, very useful to us. At some point, however, forcing the truth out of him and killing him dependent on it is not out of the question.
Rilinid shrugs.
It is important to show the others that refusal to, as you say, lick boots is unacceptable, especially in servants. He smiles. After all, he is not family. He looks at Rain. Anything else to report?
Other than that, just not a lot. As I said, his skill in fighting is far beyond what we'd expect. So much so that during combat training, I worked out why I thought his style was so strange in the first place. All this time, he's been trying to hide his ability. He's holding back his strength. He's stronger than we've even seen so far.
He seeks to deceive us then.
As would any drow.
She shrugs. I suppose.
So it's interesting he doesn't just show himself to be the superior one.
That is because we are recognized as being lords above him. Surely you would not wish for him, accusingly, to defeat you so easily as he showed you up while fighting Skethik and Azrak.
A glare goes to Rilinid.
I thought not.
Alauneari smiles. A very sweet smile. I suppose in time he will have his reward. He seems to be in a good mood. Now, shall we march? I have a throne to reconquer.
Onward to Vathis! We get on our spaceship.
Yes. The Vothis Express.
That's right.
Yeah, as you leave the Hall of the Lord, you do see that Tarlan is busy getting the forces into gear and into shape and everything, and basically they are filing out of the camp they have around the old armory, bringing with them a minimal luggage, basically.
99 bodies of drow on the wall, 99 bodies of drow.
Yep. Knock one of them down, and it's
Pass it
98.
around.
Yes, yeah.
That's what I do to bodies, pass them around.
Yeah. So yeah, you have a few hours before Tarlan has everything sorted out, so you can do anything special if you want to in that time. Yeah.
I don't think I have anything special. Kind of took care of that in the 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Same with me.
Alauneari will march around imperiously with her spider pets.
Being all Look at my spiders.
Well, yeah, he doesn't hide the things. Quite the opposite.
Yeah, they seem to invoke some dread respect from the populace.
Ew.
What?
Looking forward to just like waking up the next day and see like some spray paint graffiti on one of the skeletons.
Someone has tagged them.
It's like Faster Vault will never die.
Fast Vault will rise.
Spiders took my job.
Get out of town, damn knife ears.
That's right. Back to the gay pile with you.
I have been thinking about this, and I think, why not? Tristan will approach Talon and ask if he has a moment to speak in private.
Yeah, if she could. I mean, he is currently organizing the troops, but if she calls for him, he will certainly
She
appear.
promised him it will be quick.
Oh, well, sure.
Mm.
Where do you want to meet?
Just somewhere quiet and where we won't be disturbed.
In her room, maybe then?
Sure.
Oh.
Stop it!
Alright, sure. Which one?
Thoughts together, man.
I think this one was Tristan?
I think it's this with the scorpion and...
The one with
Oh,
the
yeah, it's a luxury
scorpion.
room.
Yeah, Tarlin will...
It's a little crowded,
a
maybe.
little crowded, there's a lot of things in here.
Well,
Tarlin will approach, he seems a little bit stressed, but for Trislan he has a rakish smile, and he bows graciously towards her. My lady Trislan, how may I serve you?
I'm gonna need the Sicari in here, so she's not saying that.
I hope not!
No, she's not. I just want to tell you why he's in here. It's not just because it's weird.
It's like,
Me can
yeah,
keep an
thank you
eye
for
out.
coming. I need Sakari in here, so I don't mind him standing over there. He's
Tristan will look at him a little nervous and hesitant and say, I have been thinking and I wanted to talk to you, but I've been busy since I've been appointed to be the priestess.
Colin smiles. Yes, I heard rumors. I am sure the Dread Lady will be much pleased with you at the head of the cult. He smiles.
Thank you. You said you've been chosen by... I forgot her name. The woman...
The Baroness?
The Baroness?
So,
You got chosen by the Baroness to be her plaything. What makes you a candidate to be chosen as such?
yeah, something dark comes over his mood, and he looks around and he says, "Lady Trislan, I was chosen to take part in a sparring contest with her. The winner of said contest would be one of her new consorts." He looks around. Yes, what allowed me? Well, he shrugs. All of the lower officers in the tower was able to apply to the tournament, and I thought if I did well, it would curry some favor. As you well know, the conditions in Vothis are abhorrent. The boredom and the lack of, well, pretty much anything can drive a man insane. He smiles. And being closer to the Baroness seemed at the time to be the best way of getting some preferential treatment.
Yeah, but I doubt she just chooses any random...
Oh, he looks around. She didn't choose at random. As I said, the sergeants and upwards in the military hierarchy were able to participate in said tournament. The winner would be, as I said, her consort.
Tristan nods. I'm gonna ask you frankly. You're not here to hurt us, are you?
He seems to consider for a bit, and then he smiles at Trislan. My dear Lady Trislan, I wouldn't dream of it.
Oh, Zakaria, I'm so disappointed in you.
You can do one yourself, technically.
Yeah, I was thinking of it. I'm just.
I mean, he's
Get me to do it.
Let
No, 17. What can I get with a 17?
Well, you get the feeling that Tarlin is, to his mind, probably speaking, mostly truly at least. You do pick up that he is. He's trying to answer as honestly as possible, but that he seems a little bit hesitant. She doesn't really feel that he is lying when he said that he's not here to hurt them.
She looks at him and says, "You seem a little hesitant."
He shrugs. Lady Trislin, one must always be very careful with what one says, especially in dealings with people of power.
I see.
Trust me when I say that I have no reason to hurt any of you at this point.
I'm happy to hear that.
I would have nothing to gain, he shrugs, and much to lose.
Tristan nods, and she seems happy with what the information she has gathered today, and says thank you for thank you for giving me your time, and thank you for not being here to hurt us.
Yeah, he smiles. Of course, Lady Trislin. Although some drow have proclivities in that department, it is not my chief enjoyment in life, oddly enough, he smiles.
No, but you're so secretive.
Well, he looks around again in the room. We all have our secrets, Lady Trislin. I have not inquired very much into your own, I am sure, very storied backstory or background. I have heard rumors, of course. But I do respect someone's secrets to a degree.
Well, of course, but the only reason I have not told any secret is simply because I've not been asked.
He smiles. Is that an invitation, Lady Trislin?
Take it of what you will, she smiles. But for what I know, you've been asked several times, not by me, but by my siblings.
He nods. It is true. Your siblings are curious, and I cannot blame them. I am but a simple sergeant, he smiles. I have had another life before, but that life is long gone now. And I came to Vothas for the same reason that many come to Vothas. This is an opportunity for me to perhaps do something a little bit greater with the remainder of my days.
Okay. She
Given,
nods.
if I am given the opportunity, of course, Lady Trislin. For now, I have been doing my best keeping this town in check. I hope it has been to your satisfaction.
Yes, very. You've done a very good job.
Nons, thank you. I aim to please. I hope I can count on your support in the future, then, Lady Trislin. He smiles.
Of course, if I can count on yours.
You can always count on me, Lady Trislin. Never forget that.
Likewise, Talon.
He smiles, looks around. Very well, then. I should go back to marshalling the troops. Your sister is a demanding mistress, and
I
I
will.
best not disappoint her.
I will take the blame if there is to come any.
He smiles. Oh, Lady Trislin, you are generous. I will remember it.
She smiled.
He bows and quickly and deftly steps out and hurries down the corridor.